Hey kiddos! Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a thrift flip challenge, and this challenge comes from Savannah over at Savvy Crafts with Savannah, and I'll link her channel and the playlist below. All of the projects that I have today, the only requirements were that you had to get it from a thrift store, redo it, and it had to be under $10. All of mine are under $5. So each different project is under $5. So I can't wait to get to it and show you all of the cool things we're going to do today. All right, so this first project, I picked it up for $5. It was brand new in a box, in the styrofoam even. It came from the Decor store in Branson. It's a thrift store that they buy stuff from hotels where they redecorate the hotels. And since there's a ton of hotels there, then they sell them in a bulk price to this thrift store. And so you can go in there and you can get beds and nightstands and all kinds of stuff. It's a really cool store. I love going in there. So the color that I'm first putting on there is plaster, Waverly plaster. Okay, and so it's just a light beige. It's white almost, with just a little bit of tint of beige in it. Okay, so I go through there and I just give it its first coat, and I'm thinking that I'm going to put it in my living room is why I first painted it plaster. But the more I looked at it, I thought, this would be really pretty in my Glam bathroom. So my house isn't a constant theme all the way through it. I have farmhouse chic in my living room. In my kitchen, it's black and red. In my den, it is rustic, anything I want in there, basically red, anything Coke, all of our memorabilia that we've had for years and years. And then all my bedrooms are decorated different. Okay, well, this bathroom, I wanted it to be shiny and glam, so this is why I'm painting it this. So anyway, I start out thinking I'm putting it in the living room and then decide I'm going to put it in my fancy schmancy bathroom. So what I did was after it dried, I went back over it and I dry brushed the white Waverly over the top of that cream plaster color. And I loved the look. Okay, so I have gray and white marble in that bathroom. Another choice would have been to paint it dark gray and then to dry brush the white over it, but I really liked this look. So I'm just going here and finishing up, and then we're going to add some shiny to it here in a minute. I had to take a little tiny paintbrush, as you saw before, and go in and get all those little cracks because the bigger brush that I had was not working on it. So sometimes you just have to use whatever it takes to get the job done. So I'm sorry about not having any music, but I keep getting dinged by YouTube because it's not wanting me to add iMovies music. So now what we're going to do is we're going to, instead of gold leaf, we're going to silver leaf this. I got that product. It's called Nuvo, and I got it at a scrapbook retreat that I went on. I know that you can find this at scrapbooks.com. It's Nuvo Draw. The company is Nuvo, Nuvo. I think that's how you spell it. And the first thing I'm doing here is adding gold leaf glue. And I've got this glue at Michael's, and it was half price because it had been opened, and I'm sure because they had used it on something else. So the first thing it says to do is stir it up, so not to shake it, to stir it. So I stirred it up, and then it also says that you need to leave it dry up to 30 minutes. Well, let me tell you something, girls and boys. It dried in probably 3 to 4 minutes, but I didn't know that because I'm listening to what the instruction says. So I'm painting all of this around here and just going to town, putting this on here, and then I'm going to open up that stuff too. When you open it, flies everywhere. So what it is, I think, is pieces that they've messed up when they got the gold leaf. Something didn't go right, and so, or it's the scraps because it's little bitty pieces. But for what I'm using it for, it's perfect. It's actually a scrapbooking product, and you can use Versamark. If you're using it for scrapbooking, you can use Versamark and it'll stick on it too. That's a glue ink pad that we use to emboss with in scrapbooking. So for you scrapbookers, you know what I'm talking about. The rest of you, just go get you some gold leaf glue, and that gold leaf glue will last you a million years, because I didn't even put a dent in either one of two of these products, and I used it all around the top and I used it all around the side. Do not have a fan on. Do not sneeze. Do not blow on it, because that was the hardest thing, because I wanted to blow the crumbs away. Well, if I had done that and that caught on and I blew over the top of that bottle, we'd have had silver stuff everywhere. So this stuff goes on really easy. Once the glue dries, it really goes from, like, it tells you it goes from a milky to a clear. It's almost clear before I got it. I mean, after 2 or 3 minutes, it went clear. So if it's wet and not sticky to the touch, it's not going to work. So it definitely needs, and it need not to pool. It needs to not pool, it says. So don't leave a puddle of it. It's like a dry brush swipe across there. But it was super easy to do. So you lay it on, and then you take a fluffy brush, a thicker fluffy brush, and you brush across it. Do not expect to use this brush on anything else for the rest of its life, because that silver stuff, because you're going to brush across the glue, and when you do, then it sticks to the brush, and then when you put the brush across the silver sticks to the brush. See what I'm saying? So I mean, you could clean it, but just know that is your gold leaf brush. That's what I'm going to call it, because it's forever. It was for my Perfect Pearls, which is a mica powder that you put on with glue, and it was for that, and so I thought it would work well with this. Well, it would have if I hadn't got the glue stuck to the brushes or bristles of the brush. But so I just go around all of this, all the way around it, and I do about, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches at a time, putting the glue on, then going back and putting the silver on, back and forth. And then I take the brush after I get a few pieces of it on and brush it off. You just turn it in circles or brush it back and forth, and it lays almost completely flat, and it gives it a great look. Another way I could have gone this look was they sell this creamy silver or gold or copper. I think it comes in 3 colors. It's like a paint, but you rub it on with your finger, and they've had it for a million years, and I think it's called Inca Gold or Inca something. And you just rub your finger in this palette and then rub over the raised sections that you want it on. Gives you a beautiful look. But isn't that pretty? It just turned out so pretty. I was super, super pleased with it, because my bathroom has chrome and crystal in it. So here it is on my tub. All right, our next one is a piece that I found at a different thrift store in Branson. And what we're going to do is I'm taking it apart to clean it. It's got candle wax all over it, and of course it will accept paint, but I want it to be clean, because I do plan on putting this in my flea market booth. So after I take it all apart and I clean it, I'm going to put it all back together. And then I'm going to take it out to the garage, and you're probably not going to see this part. I'm going to spray paint it black. Now, I got this idea from Ginger Chick Rehab. She always spray paints all of her stuff black, and then she goes back and paints it white. And I don't really know the reason why she does it. She uses spray paint the first time, and then she uses chalk paint the second time. And I know that spray paint for me is, we hate each other. I always get drips because I get impatient and I don't want to wait for it to dry, even though I know you have to wait. Especially on metal, it runs really easy. So I went out there and spray painted it black, and then I bring it back in, and I'm going to give it a coat of white Waverly chalk paint, because I'm going to give it that enamel look. I found an inspiration piece And see, there I have it. I've already brought it back and painted it white. You didn't even get to see me do it in black because I lost the footage of it. So I'm giving it a second coat. The inspiration piece comes over from, I think it's Urban Farmhouse. They had one over there that was, it was a brass candlestick that they had painted white, and then scraped the paint off of it. It looked like it had a lot of rust on it. I'm like, y'all should use some steel wool on that to begin with, but ha ha ha, that was the look they were going for. I'm just teasing. Anyway, so I give this a second coat of the chalk paint, and then I go in and I'm going to make it look like that enamelware. You can either get it in red or black. I have red pieces and one piece of black, but they're all white, and then just the edges are black. So I go through and I take a flat brush and lay it along the edges, and then I go back and take a tiny trim brush, which is what I'm doing now, and add it around the circles, or around the base of it, which there was a lot of circles, but just around the little tiny points. So it has a little bit of black on it. And I think too, by spray painting it black underneath, that gives you a great base coat that makes the white just pop off of it. So I really liked it, and I wish I had more of this in my house, and I would just keep it, but you can't keep every piece that you make. So I'm going to take it down to my thrift store, through my flea market booth, and I'm going to sell it down there. I hope that y'all like this. So basically, I have $1 in it, and I'll probably be able to sell it for $8 or $9, and it took me maybe 30 minutes to do it. So I just stuck these beeswax candles in there and to complete the look, and I thought it turned out cute. All right, y'all. Well, I got this at the same thrift store that I got that candlestick at. So they were on sale. Everything in there that day, again, for half off. So it was $1, but I got that piece for 50 cents. When I got it home, I realized it come apart, and so I got two for 50 cents. So I got them for a quarter a piece. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to clean them up real good. Of course, it's set in somebody's kitchen or whatever and had a little bit of grease on it. You know how over time things get greasy in the kitchen. So at least if you're from the South, they do, because we fry a lot of foods. But not everybody is that way. But I kind of tend to fry a lot of foods. But anyway, so I'm going through here, and I'm going to give them a good coat of this Waverly white chalk paint. And I just hated covering them up because somebody spent lots of time painting the little toll picture on the front of it. It was a cute little house, had little roses and ivies on it, but nobody wants that country blue anymore. So, and I don't blame them. I don't either. So that's why I'm covering it up with this white. And then I'm going to add some details to it here in a minute. Now I'm going to get my Waverly ink chalk paint, and I'm going to make it look like enamelware, and I'm just going to go around the edges. I was on a roll with this today, and I just go around all the little edges and outline it in black. And this is going to be so stinking cute in my kitchen. When I finish, that's exactly where that thing wound up. So, both pieces. So I'm going to just go around both pieces on all around the edges and do them in black. And they just turned out cute. They just look like enamelware, even though enamelware is only really metal, and it comes in extremely simple pieces. These just, to me, I was just trying to give it that look. Now I'm going to put some decals on it that I got from Dollar Tree. And these are over kind of next to the stickers in the new Crafter's Square section. And I just go through here and start cutting up which ones I want it to say. One of them, I'm going to want it to say My Nest. And then the other one's just got flowers and laurels on it. And I cut them out of of the piece. I can't actually see what I'm actually working on right now. I think it's the My Nest one. And these letters are all crooked. There ain't one of them pretty much that's the same size as far as that word goes. And there weren't duplicates of it. So if you need more than one E or if you need more than one S, you're going to have to get you a couple of packages of them. They are cute and they're adorable and they have all these different little things, but you're going to need, if you got anything that's got more than one vowel, same vowel in the word, you're going to need how many ever packages of it. So know this ahead of time, and I didn't. Usually when you get stuff, you get at least two vowels, the same vowel in a package of stickers, but apparently they didn't see fit to do that for me. So I cut out what I wanted to say, which was My Nest. And then I had this little wooden heart left over from Valentine's Day. And it was just wood. And I went in and took my Waverly wax I think it's in brown is all it comes in. And I just stained that heart that brown. Now, you could have used one of them furniture markers from the Dollar Tree. That would have worked. Or you could have painted it black or red. I wanted to do red, but then I found this little tassel that I had already made with that bead on it. It's a little leather cord, and it had a bead on it. And I had it for something else. And I thought, no, I'm just going to make it like this, and it'll match. So the next one, I go in, and I find the laurel and the flower that I like. And I cut it out. And when I put it out there, of course, it's not going to fit. So all I did was take it from the piece that it was, and I flip the laurels around. So I take them where they were flared out the other way. I flipped sides, and then kind of turned them down, and they work great. Now, these are rub-ons. So when you cut them out, you just barely have to rub on them, but you need to make sure that you get the edge rubbed down, not just the middle. So the edge is the most important part, and then pull the piece of plastic up off of it. Now, if you happen to pull a piece of it off before you get it rubbed down and it's still stuck to that clear plastic, lay it back where it goes and just rub back over it, and you can piece them together. So it pieces almost seamlessly. These rub-ons, I have to say, for Dollar Tree, I was super impressed because I've used rub-ons in scrapbooking, and some of them, they just will not come off of that plastic carrier sheet without you just rubbing yourself to death getting on there, getting it back up there to stay. So it just drives me insane. And what I'm doing now is I'm looking for some pieces or some ornamental stuff. And this is how I store all my little bits and pieces of stuff I use for scrapbooking. So there'll be some letters in there. There'll be some buttons. There'll be some metal pieces. Because with scrapbooking, you pick up all these little tiny pieces all the time. Because you're only working with a 12 by 12 area normally. And so you just, over the years, I think I have about 10 or 12 of these boxes, and they're just plumb slap dab full of little bitty pieces. But again, I've been scrapbooking for 21, almost 22 years. So you are going to collect a few things. So you have to have a good system to keep up with that, because you don't want to throw it away, because that's money you spent on, something. So I decided on this little, I think it says hello, and it's like a sunshine. And it was black and silver, and I thought, well, that just turned out super cute. So it's a brad, just like those paper brads that you poke a hole and then you pull the prongs back. So I just cut the prongs off of it, and then I hot glue it down. And then I took this little office file metal piece that was red. Like, again, my kitchen is red and black, and I hot glued it down. So I hadn't decided what I'm going to put in that saying yet, but I figure it'll be something cute. I hadn't figured out what I wanted to say. So here you see it on my counter, and I just thought they were adorable. I won't probably set them together. Okay, again, I picked this up at the thrift store and got it for half price. I think I paid $1.50 for it. I think it had 2 or 3 on it, and I got it for $1.50. So the first thing with baskets you want to do if you want to paint them, because every time you get them, they are dusty. So I took this stiff bristled brush, which is just a chip brush, and I went over it and just dusted it out. This is how I clean my baskets at home if I have them here. So it's a good cleaning tip too if you're just trying to clean your baskets up at home. So I took it out to the garage, same time as I took that metal thing out, and I spray painted it black. And again, I'm going over it with some white chalk paint, this Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just dry brushing it all on there, giving it a black and white look so that it'll match my kitchen. This was one of the easiest projects I had. So, just some black spray paint and some white Waverly chalk paint to cover it up. If I tried to paint that basket in all white, I'd have used half a bottle, because baskets just absorb a ton of paint like this. So the best thing to do with a basket is spray paint it. I've been crafting for 30 years, girls, and I'm going to tell you, 30 plus years. Spray paint's the only way to go with a basket to begin with if you want to change the color. Unless it's a natural and you want to dye it, that's the only other way I've ever found that I can get all of it inside, because that spray goes in through those grooves. So anyways, so then I take a stiff bristle brush, pretty stiff, and I'm just dry brushing over the whole thing. And that's the whole project basically right there. I am going to put some loose florals in it here in a minute, and they're just some colors that match my kitchen. After I got it done, these red ones, I got these from Hobby Lobby, and I'd use them on my coffee bar during Christmas and any time there's a holiday with the red in it. I don't like it after I got it done. I'm just going to be honest. So I put a little ivy in there, and it was cute for right then, but I decided later on I'm going to change it out and put white flowers in it with a little bit of ivy, and then I'm going to put me some spring florals in it for Easter. Just because the red was too dark for right now. To me, I'm in spring mode, and so I'm ready for everything to be light and colorful, because right now outside it's pitch black dark by 3:30, 4 o'clock right now. We're in the middle of an ice storm, and I'm just tired of this mess. So even though it's cute and it would be great, it reminded me of Christmas, and I'm over Christmas. I'm just going to tell you, girls, I am way over Christmas. So here's all the projects together, and I hope you liked them. If you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up, and definitely if you're new here, I hope you subscribe to my channel. We do new stuff, something different every week usually, and I just want to thank you guys for watching. I get so much joy out of doing these projects, and it gives me something to look forward to. I hope you do too. Also, don't forget those girls down in that playlist down there. Go hit that playlist and go over and give them some love too. Thank you guys. Have a good week.